Hello, welcome back to my channel. Tomhmagic here. Got another new video for you today. You may tell from the scoreboard on the right, but I have built a death counter for Bedrock. So here is the machine. This is set up for 5 people so far, but you can set it up for as many people as you want. Maximum would be as much as a scoreboard can go, which is roughly 2.5 billion. So if you have that many people join the world, well done. So I'll go over it. I'm not going to do a block for block for this tutorial either, because it should be quite self-explanatory. I'll leave points where you can pause, but just to show you it working, if I put myself in survival and I die, you can see I have now 4 deaths, 5 deaths, 6 and so on. And let's look quickly how it works. What it is doing is very simple. It's testing for me. It's not testing, sorry, it's replacing an item in my ender chest. And I've chosen the last slot in my ender chest, so you still have 26 slots, and that's the 27th slot, because 0 would be the first slot. And when you die, it fails. When it fails, it's gonna turn this torch back on and set the scoreboard for the death count. Very simple. You would have thought the test for all players would have done the same thing, or test for players, but it doesn't. It still finds you when you die, even if you have immediate respawn off. So this isn't a death counter that is done by location like some PvP maps I've seen. This is for the whole world. The only thing it restricts you is that 1 slot in your ender chest. So let's go through. We've got this is the counter. This is one section here. Just these 2 command blocks, comparator and redstone torch. This is the code here to target the ender chest. You can replace any slot in the ender chest. I chose the last one just for convenience, but you could just put slot.enderchest 0 air. But if you want them to be able to use the first 26 slots, I would do this. And I'll talk about the scoreboard, the death tracker scoreboard, in a second, when I go through the back end bits. And then this is the scoreboard to the death count, and this is what you see on the screen when it counts up. So to set up, there's 4 commands here. These can be done in the chat. I've just put them in here for now. You want to set 3 scoreboards. Death tracker, there's that one there. Death count, and death display. If you've ever used scoreboards before, you might start recognizing some of the scoreboards on here to be able to remove scores from remove players that go offline from your scoreboard. And then the last one is a ticking area to make sure the machine is constantly running. Depending on how big your map is, you may not need this, but it's worth doing just in case that people remove from the spawn chunk. You don't want the machine to stop working. So this bit here runs in 2 lines. You've got the bottom line, which is the display. The tracker, sorry. The display in this first line and the top line here, and then this is the death tracker, which I'll explain what that does in a second. So you want to test for all in a repeating command block, always active, and every time someone joins or leaves, it will set this observer off. But coming out of that, you need a chain command, always active. It doesn't have to be conditional, and what it's doing is transferring the score from the death count to the death display. and that's what and this helps remove the players offline. When it sets off, it's going to set this command block off, which removes the death display, which is why you track your score on the death count, because you're going to remove this scoreboard entirely. You're then going to re-add it. And the last bit is the death is what it's the display name, so you can call it whatever you want after the add. Then after dummy you want to put your display name. If you want multiple words, then you put them in quotations, but if it's just one word, then you can just add it there. Then you're going to set it as a sidebar, so you're going to set the display, and then you're going to add 0 to everyone on death count, and then that would add them to the scoreboard, even if they haven't died yet. They would have a 0. It's also going to set off this line, and this helps this work. So you're going to add 0 to death tracker to everyone. You're going to then add a score of 1 to the death tracker to the armor stand to my left, which is called player add. Excuse the cats in the background if you can hear them. And what that's going to do is this score for this armor stand is going to increase by 1 every single time. It's never going to go down. It will increase by 1 every new player that joins. Because then what it's going to do, it's going to transfer all the score from that armor stand to the new player, because they would be the only one with a score of 0. Any other pre-existing player would have a score of 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on death tracker, and so they have a unique score on the death tracker. So if we go back to these, you can see that this is looking for death tracker 1, and that's me. This is looking for death tracker 2, and so on. And you can put as many as you want of these, for however many players you want to track deaths for. And then same again on the add the death tracker 1 here, death tracker 2 and so on. And that is pretty much it. You don't have to do I'll recommend the scoreboard for the death machine here, but this bottom row you could do something slightly different. If I just go, excuse the mess of everything else, if I go here, this is the same thing. I'll just call it p-add instead, and this is done by button press. So if you wanted to limit the amount of people that gets added to the tracker score, you could do it by button press, or you could have maybe a pressure plate when they walk into an arena, or anything that you could think of there. That is doing exactly the same thing. It's just being set off by a button press, and instead of at all, it's at player, at P, at closest player. Hope you enjoyed this video. Any comments put in the bottom. Please like and subscribe and tell all your friends about me. Try and get the channel going. Should be another video coming out soon. If you've been watching my World Edit series, it's an improved version, so keep an eye out for that. That'll be coming out very shortly. But thank you very much for watching.